he's going to tell you the secrets to how he made $100,000 last year in 2024. What were some things you learned from us that were the difference makers in mindset and skill set?
There are quite a few things, but to be honest, especially selling Mercedes, I first heard Andy say, if your customer doesn't buy, it could be the death of them. I think that was a big factor as to why I was able to crack 6 figures last year. And then also the mindset, I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day, go to the gym, go for a run, whatever the case may be, get the blood pumping. Actually, I may be the only person in my dealership that does that. People call me crazy all the time, but you got to be a little crazy to get to the top. Like you have to.
That's called the foundation. Those are things that you have to have in order to win. If you don't have those, I mean, you're never going to make it, right? All right, guys, what's up? It's Brendan. Welcome back to the channel. Today, if you're in automotive sales or any type of sales and you want to level up in 2025, this is the video you're going to want to watch. I got my man Cullen right here. I've been working with Cullen for about a year now. He's going to share his story, but he's going to tell you the secrets to how he made $100,000 last year in 2024, his first year in car sales. So no matter where you're starting at, no matter what age you are, no matter what limiting beliefs you have, you're looking at a guy right here that in less than 12 months made his first $100,000 working with us, and he's going to tell you the secrets. So first things first, brother, run us through your accomplishments like last year. You sell Mercedes, you're new to sales, right? Run us through that real quick. What results you got last year?
Yeah, absolutely. So cracked my first 100K last year and finished top 3 in my department. Overall gross profit, top 3, and that's competing with guys that have been selling for longer than I've been alive. So that was definitely a huge accomplishment.
I love it. So you made what? What was the YTD last year?
YTD gross was 117, and the sky's the limit from here.
117K.
Yep.
Let's go. And you sell Mercedes.
Yep.
And how? Tell your background a little bit. Right.
Yeah, so I actually don't come from much. Combined income household is under 100K.
Yeah.
Growing up, my dad wasn't in the picture. Mom and grandmother raised me. A lot of other people have it like that.
Yeah.
So definitely didn't have much inspiration other than I needed to change my life, change my bloodline.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're how old right now?
I'll be 29 this year.
29, baby. Let's go. You hear that? If you're approaching 30, it's time to get that money. Let's go. So growing up, right, you said mom, grandma, underdog. When did you get into sales?
First got into sales last year. Been in the automotive industry for about a decade. I've been through every department, technician, service, parts department, the whole 9. So I knew the background of dealership world.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to utilize all of that knowledge into sales and exponentially grow my income and client base.
So you were working in a dealership prior to last year, right? 2024. Yep. But 2024 is your first full year in sales, correct?
First full years in sales.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. Okay, so here's what everybody's wondering right now, right? You made $117 your first year, which is awesome, right? Obviously, if you stop growing, I'm going to kick your ass because, you're worth more than that. But
you should.
To make $117,000 your first year, I mean, a lot of people would love to do that. Mm-hmm. So, we started working together. When was it? It was I don't know, first quarter of last year, right? Like March, maybe.
Q1. Yep.
Yeah. And what were you doing before? Getting into sales, your first 90 days. 3-4 months, because I remember our first conversation, you were not struggling, I guess, but you were just kind of stuck, right?
Yep.
Yeah, what was that? What was that like, your first couple months in sales?
Yeah, so I started out as our product concierge, and that's how I got my foot in the door onto the sales floor, and then a position opened up for the sales division, and so got my foot in there, and I essentially just went to all of the top producers and was like, I took a few of them out to dinner, took them out to lunch, and was like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing differently? And so I learned what they were doing, which is, I would attest a lot of my initial success to that.
Yeah.
But then I doubled my income once I got in touch with the Elliott Group.
I love it. You know what I always talk about? Like when I started selling cars, because you almost beat me, right? Like my first year, I think I made like $130 or something like that. But, I remember when I first started, I didn't know Andy Elliott, like all this existed.
Yep.
So what I did, same thing you did, was immediately I went up to all the top producers. I just went into my sales office. I looked at the board. I looked at who was earning the most money. And I was like, I'm going to go ask that guy what he's doing.
Yep.
So I went up to him and, I was like, how do you handle this? How do you work this? What does your schedule look like? And I took all that, but where I ran into a roadblock was once I outgrew everybody.
Yep.
Because everybody in the car business, for the most part, is very average. And you don't meet a whole lot of people that have really high standards.
Yeah.
So once you outgrow everybody at your store, it's kind of hard to continue to push yourself unless you have accountability from some crazy mofos.
Yep.
If you know what I'm saying. So, so you started studying the guys at the top, you started scaling, and then you and I had a phone call. I think you like peeped your head into our program like right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, a few months prior, yeah.
And then you kind of went your own little direction. Like I was like, hey, here's my link, book a call when you're ready.
Yep.
And then, a couple months went by, and then I remember you said like, call booked, let's go. Like I knew something had to happen, something had to flip in your mindset or something, right?
Yep.
What was that?
Yeah, similar to what you were saying. I've always felt like I've outgrown everyone that I'm around, at least at where I'm at, mindset-wise.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was really being pushed by anyone else, and that's what I was looking for, that extra push. Because I felt like I was doing the pushing for everyone else, but that wasn't being reciprocated, and I was looking for that reciprocation.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you went from, so like you reached out quarter 1.
Yep.
I remember we had a crazy phone call, bro. Like I was like,
90 minutes?
like like hour and a half long phone call, which by the way, like sometimes people see my content and I talk about like some of my greatest testimonials, like yourself and some other people hear like, damn, you like invested a lot of time into that guy. Like, how did you know he was going to get results? And I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for long enough to where I won't spend more than 10 minutes on the phone with somebody who I don't think is qualified, not just financially, but like mentally qualified. Like I don't think I could believe in.
Yeah.
So, but like when I talk to somebody that like reminds me of myself, shows a lot of signs that they could be great, and like has the right intentions, I'm like I'll stay on the phone with somebody for 2 hours if that's what it takes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I've had a lot of people that, like yourself, that just like end up doing business with us because they're like, dude, you must really like you believe in this shit. Like this is insane.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with you. But you got going, and I mean, here's the main thing, man. Like, what changed in your mindset that got you past 100K, right? Because, like, I mean, let's face it, dude. The average car salesman on Google makes like 40 grand a year, right? So what were some things you learned from us that were the difference makers in mindset and skill set?
There are quite a few things, but to be honest, especially selling Mercedes, whenever I first heard Andy say, if your customer doesn't buy, it could be the death of them. And it's scarily true, just because Mercedes is one of the safest cars on the road, and I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And so if I don't sell someone a Mercedes, don't get them into the safest, most reliable vehicle in the world, it's known globally for that reason, then I could be harming them.
Right.
In that sense. Because I've seen plenty of people that have gotten into car accidents and weren't in a Mercedes, and they can't walk, their family, like a family member died, something. I know that's extreme, but that's, it really gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just because, it's the best car company in the world.
Yeah, I call that conviction.
Yeah.
And I think, most salespeople, they never take the most extreme examples.
Yep.
Right? Like anybody that you work with, you want to think they could be your next best testimonial.
Yep.
Because you never know like the extent someone's going to really enjoy your product until they have it.
Yep.
Like you assume that like everybody that buys your product is going to love it, right?
Right.
Based on the information you gather from them. But like sometimes you have people that just, it exceeds their expectations and they love it and it becomes the greatest thing ever. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, dude. Drop some more nuggets, bro. Like that can't be all that it takes to make $100,000. It's just like believing. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Belief, conviction.
Yep.
That's called the foundation. Like those are things that you have to have in order to win. If you don't have those, I mean, you're never gonna make it, right?
Yep.
So I would call that the foundation.
Yep.
But like, is there any other tactical skills, stuff like that you'd recommend? Like think about if you could go back 12 months ago.
Yep.
And tell yourself some things about where you're at now. Like what would get you there? Mindset, skill set, anything.
Yeah, if it's not making a car deal, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like don't sweat the little stuff. Outwork everyone else. We talked about that last time that I was here.
Yeah.
You know, especially whenever you're starting out, show up before anyone else, leave after everyone else.
Yeah.
Set the example of what it truly takes to be in that position. Because in your first year to 2 years, you should not be taking a day off. Like, don't be available.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is just outwork everyone else, and their clients will eventually become your clients.
Yeah.
Just because you're available and you're taking care of them.
Yeah.
I've had so many customers come to me, even though they've already worked with other sales reps.
Yeah.
Because I take care of them. I'm always available. Even while I'm out here, even though we're on a different time zone, I'm still available to my clients.
Yeah.
If they text me, call me, I'm still available.
Yeah. I'm with that, dude.
Yeah, I think that was a big factor as to why I was able to crack 6 figures last year. And then also the mindset, you know, I wake up at 4 a.m. every single day, go to the gym, go for a run, whatever the case may be, get the blood pumping.
Yeah.
I'm one of the only, actually, I may be the only person in my dealership that does that.
That works out.
Not necessarily that works out, but works out that early in the morning. Like people call me crazy all the time.
Yeah.
But you got to be a little crazy to get to the top. Like you have to.
Exactly.
Like you have to have that fire within you to take your skill set and your career to that next level.
Yeah.
And I was actually talking to a manager of mine not too long ago, and there are levels to everything.
Yeah.
And like kind of like what we were talking about with the housing. Like there's levels to everything.
Yeah.
And to get to that next level, you have to stay on that edge.
Yeah.
You have to be on the edge of the cliff and be ready to jump at any point in time.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's the biggest thing.
I love that.
And
dude.
you have to be around people that are right there with you too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you have other people that are 10 feet, 20 feet back from the edge, because they're scared, they're just going to bring you back. They're going to tell you, "Oh, come back to the comfort zone. Like, come back. It's okay here. Like, you're too crazy right now."
Exactly. Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I love when people tell me that.
Success is all relative.
It's all relative.
Like, you know, relative to my dealership I was working at before I joined the Elliott Group, I'm like a billionaire, right?
Yep.
Because of their standards. Relative to the people I'm around now in our community, I'm super broke. Like, I see so many people, and I think this is like the stigma in the car business. I think this is like the main thing that we have an issue with, and that's that you got guys that start making 10 grand, 15, 20 grand a month. And I call that the danger zone, right?
It is. It's dangerous.
That's the danger zone because when you start making like a couple $100,000 a year, you know, your lifestyle increases and you no longer have to like count, like pinch pennies to survive.
Yep.
But long term, like really when you zoom out and you start thinking big, like you're still super broke, right? Like you're broke as shit. Like you're definitely never going to be a multimillionaire, right? I just think people don't do the math, right? Like today in life, you need to make, like especially, I mean, it depends on where you live at, right? Mm-hmm. But like Arizona, you got to make $250,000 to survive. Like in Fountain Hills, where I'm at right now, like $250,000 is like the bare minimum, right? Yeah. $500,000, now you're doing okay. Now you can do some things, but you still can't stack a whole lot of money. $1 million, now you're starting to get some progress. But you really need to be at that like multi-million-dollar mark
Yep.
in anywhere to be able to get ahead, right?
Yep.
And I tell people, I'm like, dude, you know, if you had $1 million saved up in the bank, right, and you retired, you would only be able to live off 50 grand a year for 20 years before you'd have to go back to work.
Yep.
Right? I think people don't ever like really do the math, right? Like,
Yep.
I used to think growing up, I was like, man, if I just became a millionaire, I'd be cool.
We were talking about that.
And now the closer I get to that mark, I'm like, when I hit that, I'm just gonna like be more paranoid because like that ain't anything. Like I can't do anything with that,
Nothing.
right? So I think it's all mindset, and I think success is all relative to just who you surround yourself with, and you know that's why it's so important to get involved with the right people, dude. Because you know, like I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. I want to be the brokest guy in the room, right?
Yeah.
And I think some people are so scared to get in that spot. They're so scared to be vulnerable and admit that like they don't have all their shit figured out.
Yep.
And dude, I have no ego. Like I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday.
Yep.
And that's why I run in a state of like I'm just authentic. I'm not like, you know, I'm not unapproachable, like, because I'm cool, man. Like I'm really happy and proud of myself. I know, but at the same time, I know I've done nothing compared to what I'm gonna do, you know. So, yeah, man, I love it. So, any last words, right? Like, cause you're, you know, like I want people to know that like you're a leader. You know, you love helping people. Like you've been to what, 3 events?
Yeah.
You've been to the Lions Den 3 times now, right? You're from Kentucky.
Yep.
And you fly out here a couple hours on a plane every couple months to come be around us. And, you know, we're in Scottsdale, right? So, you know, you're always out here, right? And like I see you when I bring new members to you, right? People that just come to their first event or something. I'll always tell them like, hey, go meet Cullen, like go shake his hand because that guy's on fire. Like just being around him, you'll get some value, you'll grow. So what are some things you leave people with that want to earn 6 figures that are younger than you that are looking at you right now and they're like, dude, I want to freaking, you know, get in the game and do that. You know, what are some words of wisdom?
Yeah, man. Like I said, outwork everyone else. Be the energy. Like be that guy wherever you are or that girl that is just on fire. Like anyone that's around you automatically gets a smile and lights up. Like that's the best thing that you could do for anyone.
Yeah.
But that will make people want to be around you, want to talk to you. Like you were saying, be approachable as well.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, you know, and that will draw people to you.
Yeah.
And that will draw other good energy to you. And then those that aren't in that same mindset, but have that little burning fire within them, you'll spark that and put gasoline to it and then light that fire within them and you'll see it. And I see it all the time too. It's so cool. Like we'll get salesmen onboarded and I see like that little fire in them and I light that shit up.
I love it.
Like I light it up.
Let's
like
go.
There's a guy that's working with me right now. I think he's 31.
Yeah.
But his energy coming in was just so good. And I was like, dude, we need to pump that up.
I love it.
And so it's just, it's the coolest thing, man. And it's such a blessing. Whatever industry you're in, whether it's car sales, solar, just be that energy. And, you know, we're all human. We're all going to have a shit day every now and then. Like, you know, 1 out of 7 days I'm really feeling on fire.
Yeah.
But if you just keep that going, like if you just push yourself to that next level, if you wake up earlier than anyone else, like just biggest thing is take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like Jim Rome once said, you know the saying, I'll take care of you if you take care of me.
Yeah.
He said, nah, screw that. I'll take care of me for you.
Yeah.
And you take care of you for me.
Exactly.
And like, ever since I heard that, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago, but ever since I heard that, I was like, man, that's so true. Because if you take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you have that extra energy to give that to other people.
Exactly.
And that's the fire that people are looking for. Yeah. That's the fire that people need.
Exactly.
You know?
That's facts.
So yeah, take care of yourself. like first and foremost, like if you aren't feeling great, if you're in like a low path, we've all been there. We've talked about it multiple times.
Totally.
Being in that darkness.
Yeah.
But like find that fire within you, light it up, and be that light for other people in the darkness.
That's
like
fire.
we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point.
In the seminar.
Yeah. You said a couple things there. I was like, damn, dude, dropping bombs right there at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 out of 7 days, you actually feel like doing, you know, the stuff that success demands.
Yeah.
Like I relate to that a lot, dude, because I mean, I left behind the need for motivation like a long ass time ago. I mean, like it's crazy how like the years add up, but like, dude, I like really started taking my life serious like 4 years ago. So I've been on like a 4-year run.
Yep.
I'm like, look, I know that I'm just getting started, right? Every year that the clock turns over to a new one,
yep.
like I get more committed to my future than the year before. So like it's funny, each year I feel like this is the year I'm really gonna take my life serious because now I got more figured out and I'm more clear. Like I'm actually gonna take it serious this year.
Yep.
And I've been saying that every year because like even though like going into 2024 I felt very clear compared to what I know now, I feel like last year I was an amateur, right?
Yep.
So that's how you should feel every year. And you know, after like 3-4 years of like going that hard, being that committed, like dude, I don't even think anymore. Like in the morning, do I feel like doing this or not? I don't negotiate with myself. Like I just do it, right?
Yep. It doesn't matter.
And yeah, about taking care of yourself, dude. I mean, that's a bomb. I love that because a lot of people think self-development is selfish. And I think it's selfish if you don't do self-development because, you know, number one, like people always say, well, money's not everything. Well, not having money is a huge problem that I never want my family to endure.
Yep.
So my family's never gonna have to worry about that. And the people that are like in my bloodline that come long after me are never gonna have to worry about it because of me.
Yep.
And I like that. Like, regardless of what anybody thinks, like that's what I want. That's what anybody should want as a man, you know, that wants to do something great, right?
Yep.
And then taking care of yourself, dude. Like, you know, you see people that are like, well, I don't want to be selfish, so, you know, I don't have time to go work out and take care of myself. I got kids, I got a husband, what about the bad vibes you're bringing to them because you don't like yourself? Because life is a mirror. What's going on inside is gonna be going on outside.
Yep.
So if you don't like you, it's gonna be really hard for you to show love to other people, right? So I see it all the time. Like as soon as we finally close somebody, we convince them to start taking care of themselves, finally they start seeing like the real joy in life. Finally they start showing up for their families the way they should be and the people in their life, and sure enough they start making more money because they're better to be around, right?
Yep.
Crazy. So anyways, good little episode, brother. Thanks for sharing some value. Drop your Instagram so people can shoot you a follow.
All of my social media is The Cullen Dunn. The Cullen Dunn. Cullen.
I love it.
DUNN.
Simple.
All
Check them out, dude.
LinkedIn,
Mercedes.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of it.
Let's go. The Mercedes-Benz closer. So guys, you heard it here. What I want you to do, if you got value from the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks again for watching. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Boom.